Maggie had always known the dark corners of the Johnson house. As a child, she would dart through halls echoing with the groans of old wood and the faint whispers of the past. Years later, when she returned to help her ailing mother, those corners, once familiar, became a creeping reminder of something infinitely more sinister. She hesitated, heart drumming as she stepped closer to peer into the gloom. The hallway breathed a chill that snaked around her ankles. An unsettling quiet hung in the air, interrupted only by the slow ticking of the grandfather clock that stood sentinel in the corner. With each tick, the shadows seemed to deepen, almost as if they were trying to pull the light away. Maggie decided she was being foolish. After all, houses tell stories in creaks and groans, and hers had plenty to say. She turned back to her task, but the mundane act of folding laundry felt out of place. The fabric whispered against her fingers, cold and clammy, as if it had absorbed the oppressive atmosphere of the house. A bitter smell suddenly drifted through the air, a hint of sulfur, masked by something sweetly nauseating. It curled into her nostrils, beckoning her to follow it as it twisted around her. Maggie fought the urge to recoil, but there was something in that smell that felt like a memory, something she had long buried. With resolve, she took a deep breath and moved towards the hallway, compelled by a force she couldn't name. Each step felt heavier, the floorboards sighing underfoot, as if they were warning her against the inevitable. But curiosity, that simplest of human traits, pushed her forward. As she crossed the threshold into the darkness, the air thickened, and she could hear the faintest of whispers. They wrapped around her like a shroud, an incantation in an unknown language, promising a revelation. With a sharp inhale, she turned her gaze towards the end of the hallway, where a flickering light beckoned from an abandoned chapel. And it was then that the whispers grew into a cacophony, screaming through her mind as the air grew thick with a heavy, oppressive weight. Maggie staggered back, a force crashing against her and slamming her against the wall. Her body lifted as if by invisible hands, flung into the air like a rag doll. It felt as if the very essence of the house was dragging her down, down, into its dark heart. As she struggled against the unseen grip, a piercing chill sliced through her bones. She caught a glimpse of a figure amid the shadows, wreathed in darkness, with eyes glowing like embers. The realization washed over her. A history of pain echoed within these walls, claiming all who dared to expose its secrets. Maggie fought back against the invisible restraints, a desperate surge of will emanating from her core. She remembered tales her mother told her as a child, the stories about the house that devoured souls. In that moment of clarity, she understood the cycle. It demanded a bond and an offering. Summoning the last vestiges of her strength, she whispered the name of her departed grandmother, the matriarch who had first discovered the truth about the house. A single ear-piercing shriek erupted from the shadows, and the pressure lifted, letting her fall in a heap, gasping for breath on the floor. The laughter faded, the oppressive air dissipated, and a silence sat in the air, pregnant with promise. She had broken the cycle, but it came at a cost. The door to the hallway slammed shut with a force that rattled the very foundation of the house, leaving Maggie with an unsettling truth. The house might be quiet, but it would never truly let her go. Maggie knew there would always be shadows lurking, watching, and waiting.